Now I'll start. I pause because when I cut it up later, it's hard to right, and that's why because we just keep we're in a flow, and when we're flowing, it's kind of hard to cut it up into pieces for YouTube videoing, watching later on. So our this is the third and final of our three-part series covering the first four chapters of the Science of Mind. Um, his first four chapters are the thing itself. Um, let me get the thing itself, the way it works, what it does, how to use it. And I kind of, if you read his chapters, they're actually summary chapters. So it's sort of like the whole thing in all four chapters. So I see it as the thing itself, this thing called life. What is it that we are living? What is this? How it works, and then how we use it. So that's my version of these four chapters. And it is what it is. That was last week's talk, right? And it's not what it's not. So why do we keep trying to make it what it's not? And I'm telling you, I'm the queen of being annoyed with the way it's not working, the way I think it should work. And I'll share with you. I've been having this very violent argument in my own head with a particular vendor that I use, a supplier of water, and I keep expressing my dismay and consternation at how they are handling me, and it's a computer that is not noticing. It just keeps spitting out its programmed emails and notifications, and it's just ignoring that I've canceled the service, and it just keeps bringing the water, and it just keeps on going, and I'm having a fit inside. And I have told them off so many times. If only I could get a hold of them physically to really tell them off, they would maybe hear. But I actually did talk to their customer service once, and someone was hearing me, and I got disconnected, and that's the end of that. And I'm like, this isn't right, right? Right? It's not right. Don't they care about their customer? Don't they realize I can go on Google and review them and just trash their name all over the place? Don't they know that I'm sitting here and, I want to think the best of them because, I'm so holy, but it's them, right? So anyway, my life is not working right now. They're doing fine. My life is not working. And no matter how much I try to make life work the way I think it should, it's not. And so I have shared with my prayer partners over the past couple of weeks that I need to forgive and move on and let it go. And I have not done that yet. So I've asked for prayer support to do that. I haven't done it yet. This is 2 weeks that I realized, okay. This past week when I realized, you still are carrying around this grudge against this, poor water delivery company. And I'm the only one being hurt. And this makes really good material for the talk I'm giving on Sunday. So let's really, be very aware of it, and let's forgive them, and let's, go through their process the way that they would like their process to be gone through. And I still haven't done it. That resistance, rejection, and rebellion. My teacher, Dr. Stuart Grayson, used to call it the 3 R's. Resistance, rejection, and rebellion. Rebellion to what? To the way life is. It's not resistance and rejection and rebellion against the way the water company is. No, it's about the way life is. I'm taking it out on this poor vendor. But I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Well, their rules are wrong. I'm wrong. And I just have to realize this and make peace with myself and call on divine love to show me the way to communicate and do what needs to be done to get back into right relationship with this company, right relationship in me. I'm canceling the service. Why? Because I don't like who I am with them in my life. So the teaching of the science of mind is life is the way it is. Our topic today is since life is the way since life is what it is, what do we do with it? And I just shared with you an experience of what I would recommend you not do with it, which is, life is love, life is peace, life is harmony, life is joy, life is, right action. And in me, all those qualities are not being experienced. Who knows what the water company is doing? I mean, apparently they're in perfect peace. Their little machine goes, it's all computerized. They're having a ball. But I was listening to Reverend Rich sing Peace Train. Come on, get on the peace train. And I was thinking, boy, right? Let there be peace on earth, but let it begin with me. Is there peace in me? I have maintained in the past that if one of you, holy people, could reach complete and total peace within your own consciousness, there would be world peace instantaneously. I mean, we've got great mystics of the past who have touched that cloak of truth. The whole world of humanity has changed. And I mean, hasn't been a whole lot of them, but those that have emerged and changed everything. And because each one of us is a part of the whole, we're sharing in that universe, the human consciousness. And so if only one of us were to achieve that complete and total peace within ourselves, regardless of what the world is doing, that drop of pure peace in the consciousness of the whole human race would transform everything. And apparently it's not going to be me. And so as you look out at the world, are you able to maintain the peace that you strive for? Or are you like me? No. I'm at peace, but they are making the mess. Well, that's not peace. So we have a journey to go. The question for today is, what are you being conscious of? Ernest Holmes writes, let us restate our principle. We are surrounded by an infinite possibility. I never noticed that before. Not only is infinite possibility within us, but we are surrounded by it. Infinite possibility. It is goodness, life, law, and reason. In expressing itself through us, it becomes more fully conscious of its own being. Therefore, it wishes to express through us. In fact, it created us in order to express its goodness. We were created to be an expression of the goodness that created us. And infinite, not just infinite potential, but infinite possibility. That's a little bit closer than potential, right? Potential is something that is, it's there, it's always there. But possibility is my next choice. So infinite possibility is present in us, but it can only pass into our experience when we allow our thought to let it through. Boy, that was brilliant. That the divine love wants to express itself through us, but it can only do it when I'm allowing my thought to be thoughts of love and my heart to be filled with that love and to be contemplating that love and becoming more and more of that love. We're still thinking of separation when we think about divine love, right? He says it somewhere here. Well, I'll find it later, but he talks about how all the wisdom of the divine mind can shower itself upon us. But unless we are, with our thought, allowing that wisdom in, we stay dry. So to want more love, to want more peace, and not realize that the very inner workings of our thinking are the way it enters into us is something that we have to realize in order to use this thing called life effectively. How do I use a pot? I take it and I use it. How do I use love? It's not like I take it and I use it. How do I use love? I let it become my thoughts and enter into the warp and woof of my being. It becomes me, becomes us. To drink of peace, I mean, if you eat an apple, the apple becomes a part of your body. That's what your body does, is it transforms it. And so when we are thinking of how to live our lives in any particular great way, better way, or whatever it is, we must become what we are desiring to experience. We become it. And it starts with our thought. He says, it will, right? The one who wishes to demonstrate some particular good must become conscious of that good. What does that mean? We have to think about that good. And not just a passing thought like in your spiritual work, but let it occupy your background thinking morning, noon, and night. Let it enter into your dreams. Let it enter into your bathroom routine. Let it enter in everywhere. The past few weeks, from before all the holidays until sometime in January, all of my classes were on hiatus, right? Holiday, particularly Italian. So I decided, well, first I had this thought, well, I ought to get a plan for keep speaking Italian every day, so I'll be really good when we come back. And I didn't think about Italian at all. Stopped playing my computer game, Duolingo, and didn't open up the books and kind of like, oh yeah, tomorrow. I'm just too busy doing nothing, thinking nothing deliberately, just letting my mind drift all around with whatever was going on. And so when our first class in Italian started coming up a week before it, I thought, okay, I ought to start looking at Italian. And I opened up my Duolingo game, I did some flashcards, and I didn't recognize any of the words. It was all gone. I'm like, what the heck? No wonder I can't learn a language. It was gone. I couldn't remember anything. I couldn't even remember a pronoun. Two, nothing. And so I'm like, well, it is the way it is. If I want to be fluent in Italian, I have to think in Italian. Apparently more than I had been. Not just let me think in Italian enough to get by. but think in Italian, and which I was doing for quite a while. And when I think in Italian, it's in the back of my mind while I'm going about my life. When I'm not in English conversation with people, I have to be thinking, how would I say this in Italian? Let me try to say, I'm okay. I wake up and how do I say, there's all these words I've been given. I have to pull them out and use them for it to become me. And when I don't, it goes. So this particular good that each of you are desiring is not just, well, let me just do a spiritual mind treatment, an affirmative prayer for it, and then go about my business, la-di-da-di-da. That won't get you very far. You have to become the good that you are desiring to experience. And that means you have to be thinking about it, inviting it. I remember decades ago, not decades ago, but yeah, over 2 decades ago, before I was a minister, I said, okay, I took a good look at my life. What seems to be the theme? Mediocrity seemed to be the best descriptor. And I thought, well, that's fine, but I want to know success. I had to start thinking success. And I had a job that one might not consider to be very successful, kind of sitting in the corner of a little room looking at this puke-colored wall and not much to do. And the whole place was pretty filthy. It wasn't my job to clean it, I thought. And I said, I have to start thinking success here, now. And so why is I'm treating I am a success, I am a success, I am a success, or writing that down 100 times a day. All those will work to the extent that you use it. But I had to start thinking like I was a successful person thinking. And I thought, what would a successful person sitting here do when the phone rang? What would a successful person do when they looked at the mess around the coffee pot? I didn't have answers to this because I don't know what a successful person would do. I just knew what I would do, but there was the question. And that's where the science of mind teaching is so much more powerful than people who use mental willpower to change their lives, which works on the mental level, as in, let me write down 100 times a day, I am a success. Let me do these affirmations over and over and over again. Fine, fine, fine. That works on the mental level. But what Science of Mind adds is the whole kit and caboodle. There is something greater than I am. I am surrounded by an infinite intelligence, an infinite possibility is around me. There's a divine love, all the qualities of the divine, life, love, light, power, peace, beauty, harmony, joy, order. All this is present, and we draw upon that infinite something. So we do affirmative prayer, starting with what we call step 1, identification, recognition of something greater than we are. That's what makes it a prayer. Call it God, call it whatever you want, the thing itself. Call it the whole kit and caboodle. Who is it? Edwin Gaines, what does she call God? Honey? Dear honey or something? I don't know. Call it what you want. The thing is recognizing that there is something greater than you are, allows us to use a spiritual power, the power of creation, and not just our mental imaginings, which can only work as far as we can mentally imagine. But when I was saying, I call upon success, what would a successful person think here? What would a successful person respond? What would a successful person do? Karen, didn't have the answer, but I lived with the question. And I didn't brush it away. I didn't say, what would a successful person do? I don't know the answer. Let me think about something else. It was no. That question stays active. When we're calling on divine love, my new name for God is divine love, right? So divine love, speak through me. And the way it works is divine love doesn't then tell me what I'm going to say. No. in the moment of having to say something, I allowed divine love to speak. And I discover what this infinite something is moving through us. Since it is what it is, it is something that is infinite of these eternal qualities. It is our nature, it is present, and we must draw from it the way to use it. What do I do with it now? We think of it, we invite it, we welcome it, we talk about it, we contemplate it in the back of our mind. We choose the best thought that we can. We're always living at the edge of what we know. If we're calling on peace, then let me live at the very edge of what I know about peace and know that there's something more, and look for it. Actively look for it. And stay present with it. Right? Not just our morning prayer. Okay, that's it. No, but where is it? Where is it? I'm calling on more love. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, was that it? And when we're calling upon something infinite, something larger that we are, that we've never conceived of before, and maybe no one has ever conceived of it before in the particular way you're bringing it through, when we call upon it, we then wait with eager expectation, looking for it. It will be delivered, but never in the way that we thought it would or want it to. I finished reading that book about deliberate practice called Peak. Long subtitle, and two people with really long names wrote it. But they studied the brain, the reaction, what happened to the brain with a person who was contemplating a particular skill deliberately over and over and over for hours and hours a day. And they could find, well, this part of the brain grew, or that part of the brain grew, or this was different. That daily preoccupation with that skill or that knowledge that someone was calling on changed the anatomy. And so I mentioned before, right? Sonia Henney, in the Olympics, she did, a turn in the air, which any of us can do. And looking at the figure skaters today, they spend their entire lives, their daily habits arranged around how can I skate even better? And they have the best coaches and the best training, and they eat the best food. And they even learn, because of our teaching spread out all over the place now, they learn to think the best thoughts. And as a result, our Olympic skaters are doing 4 turns takeoff as easily as if it was Sonia doing the 1. That's the power of what our thought can produce when we direct our attention deliberately, consistently, continuously, in whatever way we choose. And we get to choose. They did this study with athletes, with memorizations, with scientists. They studied people who were at their peak of whatever area they chose to think about. And these were consistent results throughout. It'd be different parts of the brain that grew, but something happened. And that is available to us. It's this infinite something that knows how to rearrange a brain so that it can be the best bodily avenue for someone to be thinking the thoughts that you might be wanting to be thinking. My thought is, I don't want to work that hard. Well, don't. The law doesn't care. Go ahead. Mediocrity is there for you, honey. You had it mastered, a few decades ago, right? It gets boring after a while, right? You want to know more. What more? What more? What more? Why? Because we're designed that way. And so what the thing is we've been given this gift of life, which we use through how we direct our thought. And it could be at that superficial, flighty level from this to this to this to this to this, or from let me just absorb what the world is doing. Or you can always be one of those who decide, wait a minute, I'm really going to master cooking. And if you give your whole attention to it, and with the Science of Mind teaching, call upon the divine cooker, in the universe to guide you, you will become a great cooker. And what they also proved in that book, Peak, is talent only shows a difference at the beginning of someone's training, but not after years. It's not talent that brings people to peak performance. It's how they use their thought. And so here we teach spiritual mind treatment, or more common word we use is affirmative prayer. Spiritual, because we're calling on something greater than we are. So that's our step one. There is an infinite intelligence around me. That's it. And I am a part of it. Boy, that's our step two. I am. It's not like out there and I'm separated from it, or peace, show me the way, and arrows. Like if you walk on the Camino de Santiago, right? They've got little yellow arrows. You just walk along and there's, a yellow arrow painted on a trash can, on a tree, on somebody's house, on the road, on a rock. If an animal was sitting too long, somebody would paint a yellow arrow on it. That's the way you go. And you just follow the arrows. But that's not the way life is. Life is going to direct your attention. So that's the arrow. It's not outside of you. It's just, let me look this way. That's a sign. That's the way it works. I'm surrounded by an infinite intelligence, and I am that intelligence. And so that intelligence is working through me. How does intelligence work? Well, it's giving me some thoughts to think, and I'm thinking them. And I let this word go, and the law creates what I'm thinking upon. That's a spiritual mind treatment. Anyone can do it. People are using it at the mental level, saying, I am a concert pianist. I am a successful pianist. I am fluent in Italian. And the law obeys and will take you there as well as the next one. But boy, to have that spiritual support to base your whole livingness on is to open yourself up to infinite possibility. Infinite possibility. Ernest Holmes says in here, people have been using this infinite mind in the arts, in the sciences, in everywhere. Where everybody is using this same thing. He says, the universal mind contains all knowledge. It is the potential ultimate of all things, even though if you get to the ultimate, there's more ultimate. To it, all things are possible. To us, as much is possible as we can think. He uses the word conceive, think. As much is possible to us as we can think. Should all the wisdom of the universe be poured over us, we would receive only that which we are ready to understand. And this is why some draw one type of knowledge and some another. but all from the same source, the capital S source of all knowledge. The scientist discovers the principles of his science. The artist embodies the spirit of her art. The saint draws Christ into their being, all because they have courted the particular presence of some definite concept. Each state of consciousness or each choice, right, taps the same source, but there is a different receptivity. I'm going to be receptive to thinking in Italian. I'm going to be receptive to the omnipresence of love. I'm going to be receptive to how to kayak. Each receives what we ask for according to our ability to embody. And embodying is in our thinking. That's it. This book is called The Science of Mind. That means you got to think. I don't want it to be that way. So what? I didn't make the rules. The world, the universe is not according to the smattering of reasoning done by Karen. It is an infinite intelligence that knows how to create an expression of itself where everything within it that it is able to move in any direction they choose and draw upon this infinite potential more and more of achievement and experience and expression and beingness. And so Science of Mind, a spiritual mind treatment that I'm teaching you all. This is it. For those of you who are newbies, this is it. There's an infinite intelligence. I am using this intelligence. I am this intelligence, right? That's step 2. Therefore, I am intelligently now cooking successfully, whatever you choose. There is something. I'm bringing it into form, but darn it, I have to bring it through my thought. That means I can't watch television much as I want to, because I have to be thinking in Italian more. We alter, upgrade the thoughts that we entertain when we are courting something new. And the lowest of our thoughts, we get to pick it, but we got to let some go, because right, there's only so much. We only can think of one idea at a time. So while I'm watching a rerun of Johnny Carson, I'm not thinking in Italian unless I'm watching it and translating everything he's saying into Italian. That could work. But then I wouldn't fall asleep.
How do you say, oh?
Oh. In Italian, I think it's pretty much the same. All right, so I invite you now to think about your thinking. Think about what you are thinking, and think about all these wonderful goals that we wrote on our letters to our future selves. And ask yourself I invite you to choose some goal, some experience of life that you want to have more of. And during this song that Reverend Rich is going to sing, contemplate, have you been using your thought in the most productive way to bring this through? And then when I come back, I'll do a spiritual mind treatment to help us if we haven't. So let's do that now.